Alright, good evening everyone. Today is our first band to be interviewed by us from Metal United Worldwide Singapore. And we have with us DEM. And please intro yourself.
Hello, Ryan here.
Hi Ryan. And I don't know, but I always call you guys DEM. But the thing is, there are a lot of people who are interested in how you guys actually thought of this name and how, please tell the masses, you know, how to properly pronounce the band name, because a lot of people are having problem pronouncing it, like Deus, Machina, blah blah blah. Even my own band has problems, but just enlighten everybody once and for all.
Okay, so it's actually, so I give you the pronunciation first. It's actually Deus
Yeah,
Ex Machina.
Machina, yeah? Yeah, okay.
So it's actually Latin, though. It's actually ancient Latin.
Okay.
And let's see, how do we come up with the name? This was a long time ago, I think almost 20 years ago. But me and Gene were sitting in a bar,
Okay.
and we were having a gig coming up and all that. We didn't have a proper name back then, so he came up with this idea. We thought it was nice, but we thought temporarily just take the name. But then somehow the other it stuck. Total randomness.
So Gene was the original drummer of the band.
Gene was actually initially a session drummer because Lincoln, our original drummer, was away in Australia when we were doing this. And then, because Gene had been around with us for so long, writing and so on, right? So then he became an official member, I think, like after a couple of months.
Okay. So Gene is from Truth Be Known.
Truth be known.
Okay. And I know the band has went through a lot of lineup changes over the years. So the current lineup versus the past lineup, you know, what are the difference that you have experienced so far?
So all the lineups are very different, right? Everyone had its own positive parts of it. So we started with the early lineup. We were all still pretty young, trying something that the local bands had not done a lot, right? You had other bands that were playing a lot of progressive music back then, but not incorporating death metal vocals into it. So that version one was pretty good. Then the other one was a longer lineup. That was me saying Tarani was there for a while, and then we had a few other people come and go in the band, like Anand and so on, and David from our old band as well. That was a more intense, was a very tight unit. Right, we were concentrating on touring and so on. So it was good. And then, but this current lineup, to me, I think Vivek has said this in a couple of other interviews before. This is actually a very strong lineup because of the different ways we actually work together. There is no, crap or bullshit or anything in between each other. If you have to say something, you say it. But everyone knows it's based on the music, it's nothing personal. Plus, we have a lot more fun, I have to admit, than the other bands. Besides going out to the pub and having a beer and all that, right? But we actually sit down, we send all sorts of nonsense on Instagram and Facebook, and we just take the mickey out of each other. Right? We make fun of each other. So that's always helped us out. And also we have the same vision for the band, which is moving forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like I said, all of it has got its positives, all the lineups.
And if I'm not wrong, previously only you are playing guitar, right? Last time.
Oh, the very first, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I did all the guitars for all the albums. All the rhythm guitars were primarily done by me because of, I wouldn't say it's a complex structure of playing, but I guess the guys are going like, you know the rhythm structure better for recording, so you get all the rhythm guitars done.
And how is like the inclusive of Herman into the band? I know Herman is very active in the hardcore scene last time. I don't know. I think now still. And
Still.
yeah. And how does his style of playing incorporate into the band?
Oh, he's the exact opposite of me. So he is super melodic, very blues driven, very rock driven. Loves to do a lot of complex melodies in his solos. Right, he will sit and figure out the exact harmony for every solo he's doing.
Okay.
So it really complements what I'm playing.
Wow. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. So I guess this lineup is probably gonna stay for a long time.
Looks like it. Looks like it.
Okay. So what exactly is the band's genre? Okay. And what makes the band stand out against, other similar bands in Singapore? What do you think?
So we just call ourselves a death metal band with a whole bunch of influences, right? Like
Whole bunch of what?
Whole bunch of influences. Not Instagram influencers. Yes, there's no R in there.
Okay.
So basically, so for example, from the early days, right, it was thrash, death, then a lot of melody, and then some progressive stuff in there. The progressive part has been part of our so-called DNA in our music styles and all that, right? I think what sets us apart is we were not afraid of going out there and going, look, we are not brutal death metal, right? Within this region, brutal death, black metal, all this is actually much bigger. But we were not afraid to go out and go like, you know what, call us what you want, but this is our style and this is what we're going to stick with.
And this is the second time DEM is going to join Metal United. How was the first experience?
Well, we sold out of the beer very fast. You remember we had the beers?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember. And other than the beer,
it was good. It was actually good because it was the first time we got back on stage after, I think it was 4 years. It was about 4 years. We took a slight break in between. Yeah, so it was the first time I came back on stage. It was really nice. It was really fun. It was good to see all the gang there. Like Meltage, if I remember, Meltage, Bastardized was there as well, Wormrod, and so on. So it was really nice to see them. And then this festival again is the same thing. Right? We know like most of the bands personally, and I think everyone's just like hyping each other up to go and get on stage and really push the performance for that night.
And do you think it's gonna sold out again?
It should. It should. You and I never know, right? I mean, there are times when certain shows you expect to sell out don't sell out, and then the ones you don't expect to sell out are, people are like, we need more tickets, right? So I have a feeling that this is the one where people are going to be lining up outside. Like you have like 10 or 15 people going, we forgot to buy the ticket. Can we buy the $45 price?
Okay, to be honest, I think the tickets are almost sold out. Yeah, left 40 over, I guess. Yeah. But anyway, since this is the second time that you guys are gonna join, do you think based on your own experience, do you think this event can grow massive one day?
Why not? I mean, there is no boundaries, right? If you look at some of the other festivals that we see, which are huge right now, Wacken was actually very small when it started off like more than 20 years ago. Hellfest was a tiny little festival and just started growing, right? So I don't think there is any limits as to how festivals would work, honestly. I mean, everyone knows I go on the 70,000 tons every year, and believe it or not, when it started off 11 or 12 years ago, they were hoping to get at least 1,000 people on board. And I think they hit less than 2,000, but it hit that, right? And then that's how it started to go bigger and bigger and bigger. So now they have a limit. I mean, tickets sell out very fast and all that. If you look at Wacken as a big one, tickets sell out like 2 days after it's done. Then we've played a festival in Yogyakarta called Brebek. I don't know if it's still around, but I do remember speaking to Kamel from the organizer, and he was actually starting as a very, very small festival, and it became pretty big, where people from Jakarta, from Solo, Makassar and all that were actually coming in to play in Jogja.
Okay. And I know you are a frequent festival goer for the 70,000 tons of metal. Okay. You went since the first one, or it was later on?
I think it was number 7.
Number 7. I believe they also started quite small. Yeah.
Very small. It's very small. It was an idea. The skipper, we were calling him skipper, is a German guy. He took a massive loan from a bank because he wanted to do something different. It was actually known as Barge to Hell.
Okay.
The original version called Barge to Hell. So whoever has that T-shirt has an extremely rare piece of merchandise, or even the ticket itself.
Okay.
But he started growing and growing and growing, right? To the point where some bands keep repeating every few years, but these are the bands that want to come and play. Right? For them, it's a different experience. And imagine going to a festival, you have about 77 or 78 countries represented at the festival. I mean, Singapore, you see just one flag, one guy most of the years. But yeah, that's basically what it is. So it can grow for sure.
Maybe we should put Manchester United into a cruise.
Should go back to like the old days, go and play Sentosa or something.
Okay. Last question before we end this because we don't want to make this too long. We will bore people if they keep watching. Okay, I know in February 2023, which is this year itself, you guys did opening for MView.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This one is a trick question. How is the experience to work with big promoters like LAMC?
You know, it was different. I'll be very, very frank. They took care of us. They made sure that there was always constant communication, and we were not used to that because we were asking them for very specific. Hey, when can we come in? Can we do sound checks? We need a sound engineer and all that. So they gave us like very specific instructions that we could follow. And honestly speaking, LAMC really took care of us that day. Like we were supposed to be paying off a certain amount of our funds, our merchandise fee and all that to Esplanade, but they took it on their end on behalf of us. So I think that was really nice of them to help us out in that sense. So it doesn't matter whether it doesn't really matter whether the promoter is big, small, medium, large, as long as there's communication, you know, there's no bullshit between anyone. I think things will work out. And we've worked with promoters, as you know, in Australia when we did work like 10 years ago and so on. So good communication except for one guy, but the rest of the tour went very well.
Good. And you guys planning the tour soon, yeah?
Yeah, we're planning. So we had to cancel one or two of it because of the cost. But other than the cost is pretty high. Going to Europe now is not cheap, right? I think, as you know as well.
Yeah.
So we are looking at Australia, right? We're looking at Indonesia and Australia again to go back there. It won't hurt our budget so much, but again, it'll be fun to go back out there again.
Okay. Any last words for all our viewers or whatever, you know, and to people who want to go or planning to go to Metal United?
So be there. It's going to be really good, right? You're going to have all the genres there. I'm especially looking forward to watching Valkyrie. Okay. I used to listen to a lot of black metal years ago, but I heard them again. I'm really interested in seeing what they're doing. There's only 40 tickets left. Please go and buy it. Fill out the place is nice. And guess what, guys? We've got a couple of new merchandise, limited merchandise on that day. We have a very special T-shirt coming out, and and a special little something where I think I might only have like 10 pieces of that. So first come, first serve.
Wow. Okay. Maybe I should reserve one for myself.
Oh, I'll give you a special version of that.
Okay, thank you, Ryan.
No worries.
Okay, see you when I see you.
I'll see you when I see you. See you guys in 2 weeks, guys.
Okay,
have a good one.
see you. Bye.